In the year 52 BC, amidst the rolling hills and dense forests of Gaul, a battle was brewing that would echo through history, the Battle of Alesia. At the helm of the Roman legion stood Gaius Julius Caesar, a brilliant strategist whose ambition was matched only by his cunning. For months, Caesar had chased the proud Gallic king Vercingetorix, a fierce warrior and the charismatic chieftain of the Arverni tribe. Now, cornered within the fortified walls of Alesia, Vercingetorix and his 80,000 soldiers faced starvation and despair. Instead of launching a direct assault, Caesar employed a daring strategy never before seen in warfare. With precision and speed, the Romans constructed an immense ring of fortifications, miles of towering wooden walls, watchtowers bristling with archers, and deadly ditches laden with sharpened stakes. The encirclement was absolute, an impenetrable barrier designed to choke the defenders into surrender. Yet Caesar's meticulous plans had a critical flaw. Before the walls had fully risen, Vercingetorix had secretly dispatched messengers, riding desperately through the night, slipping past Roman patrols to summon aid from the scattered Gallic tribes. When news of reinforcements reached Caesar's ears, his scouts reported an astonishing sight: a colossal Gallic army, numbering nearly 250,000, rallying under the fierce leadership of Vercingetorix, cousin to the besieged king. Warriors from the Aedui, Helvetii, Nervii, and many other tribes were coming together, unified by their common hatred of Roman domination. With his army now trapped between Vercingetorix's forces inside Alesia and the massive relief army approaching from outside, Caesar faced an impossible situation. Showing nerves of iron, he immediately commanded his troops to build a second line of defenses, a sprawling outer ring facing outward, creating a fortress within a fortress. Days later, the Gallic cavalry thundered toward the Roman encampment, scouting for weaknesses. Caesar responded swiftly, dispatching his battle-hardened Germanic cavalry to intercept them. Clad in thick armor and armed with lethal precision, the Germanic horsemen drove back the Gallic riders, claiming the first victory for Rome. Yet triumph quickly faded into peril. On the second day, an ocean of Gallic infantry stormed the Roman fortifications with savage determination, directed expertly toward a vulnerable section defended by Mark Antony, Caesar's trusted lieutenant. Wooden palisades splintered under flaming arrows, and Gallic warriors surged forward in a wave of fury. Antony rallied his legionaries, shouting above the chaos, "Hold your ground, Romans! For Caesar! For Rome!" Blood soaked the earth as Romans and Gauls clashed ferociously atop crumbling walls. Antony's men, though heavily outnumbered, fought with disciplined desperation, repelling assault after assault until exhausted and bloodied. The Gauls retreated as night fell. By dawn of the third day, tensions had reached a breaking point. The Gallic forces launched coordinated attacks from every direction. Caesar's men, stretched dangerously thin, fought heroically, but the sheer numbers of the enemy began to overwhelm them. Panic whispered through the Roman ranks. Inside Alesia, seeing their chance, Vercingetorix and his warriors surged forth, crashing against the Roman inner walls. Caesar saw the Roman lines beginning to waver and knew he must act decisively or lose everything. He gathered his remaining cavalry, a mix of Romans and fierce Germanic auxiliaries, and boldly led them away from the fighting, briefly disappearing into the dense woodlands. The Gauls, believing victory was near, pressed harder, unaware of the impending storm gathering at their backs. Then, like lightning from a clear sky, Caesar and his cavalry thundered back onto the battlefield, slamming into the exposed flanks and rear of the Gallic attackers. Confusion erupted, fear spread swiftly, and the enormous relief army, sensing disaster, collapsed into panicked retreat. Seeing his allies fleeing, Vercingetorix's heart sank. The siege had been lost. Proud yet broken, he rode alone to Caesar's camp the following dawn. In silence, he dismounted and in a gesture heavy with defeat, threw his sword at Caesar's feet. The Roman commander, acknowledging the valor of his foe, granted mercy to the surviving Gauls. Many pledged their loyalty to Rome, joining Caesar's growing legions. Though the true number of fallen soldiers may never be known, Caesar's victory at Alesia was undeniable, a masterpiece of military ingenuity and courage, securing his legacy among the greatest generals in history.